Warning, the following program contains scenes of graphic stupidity between a man and some games. Don't take anything I say too serious, I'm just messing around. This video should not be viewed by anyone.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Scum News, the show where we take a look at sneak peeks, upcoming features, items, and other thingy-majigs that are going to be added into the game. And today we are going to take a first look at farming. We have a bit to go through, so I hope you enjoy the podcast. Alright, so we have farming or agriculture. What is farming? Farming is the process of working the ground, planting seeds and growing edible plants. It is an alternative way of getting food in the game. Now, how are we going to be successful at farming? Well, we are going to need a couple of different things. For example, seeds, fertilized ground, water, sun, and adequate temperature as well. Now, when it comes to the seeds, there are two types of seeds that can be found in the game. Seeds for decorative purposes like flowers and seeds for fruit and vegetables. Seeds can be acquired in two ways. One is from the seed packs and the other one is from the herbs themselves. If acquired from herbs, they can be used only once, while packs of seeds have 5 usages. So that's pretty cool. We're going to be able to actually harvest different plants for seeds and then use those seeds in our garden. Now, in order to successfully grow some plants, we are going to have to meet several factors. Basically, we will need seeds, soil, water, and sun. Additionally, fertilizers can be used to speed up growth and produce more yields, crops, fruits, and vegetables. Not all plants will grow in all areas. Air temperature plays a very important role here as well. Now, the first thing we're going to have to do when we are going to start planting, it is to build a garden. Now, the garden is placed in a very similar way to the platforms. The minimum garden is 2 by 2 meters and has 4 slots for plants. In order to construct the garden, we will need planks and nails. For each square meter, we will need 2 planks and 1 nails. So for a 2 by 2, a total of 4 planks and 2 nails is needed. So I'm guessing 1 nail, 2 nails. That's not a lot of nails. Now, when it comes to planting the seeds, the first step is planting a seed. Hold on, I thought the first step was constructing the garden. So first of all, right, we need the garden and then we need the seed to plant in the garden. So in order to plant the seeds, we will need, of course, a shovel and the seeds themselves. With the shovel in our hands and the seeds in our inventory or in our vicinity, we will get the option to plant a seed when we look down at the ground below. If there are more seeds in our possession, we will be able to choose which seed we want to plant. So if we have vegetables and then flowers, we can choose in between those. Once the seed is selected, we will start digging. The procedure is the same as with burying chests and mines. The duration of the action is determined by the player's strength attribute. An additional modifier that regulates speed is the player's farming skill level. So as we know, we will get yet another skill, which is farming, and that's going to play an important role, I guess, in growing plants as well. Well, it's going to determine how fast we're going to be able to plant the seed, as far as I'm seeing here. The procedure of planting the seeds ends up with a mound of dirt that indicates something has been buried there. Also, from that point, the growth of the seed begins. Into focus mode, each plant will give growth status indicators. One of the indicators presents the amount of water and the other indicates energy received from the sun. These two parameters will dictate the speed of growth, along with the farming skill level. There are also several stages of plant development. Each stage needs certain amounts of resources, water and sun, and time to be leveled up to the next stage. And we have a couple of stages of plant growth as well. The first one being seeding. This is the first stage and it involves placing a seed into the ground. And it tells us here the minimum water needed and the minimum sun as well, and the optimum average temperature. It depends on the plant. Most seeds germinate when the soil temperature is between 50 and 30 degrees Celsius. So if these conditions are met, the minimum water, sun, and temperature, If these growth parameters are met, the plant will reach the next stage in 1 day game time. What happens if these parameters are not met? For each 10 milliliters, I presume, of water below the water minimum duration of growth is extended by 4.8 hours. So pretty much if we don't meet these parameters, it's going to take more time for the plant to evolve. So what happens if the water amount gets to 0 milliliters per day? It seems like the seeds are immune to this phase. As long as the seed is in the first phase, it will never die from thirst. Instead, it will be despawned if it does not reach the next stage in the next 10 days. Gotcha. Now, if the soil temperature is below the optimum temperature for the specific sort of seeds, it will never get into the next phase. We can water the plants as well ourselves, or we can rely on the rain. The seeds start to germinate with the first water detected. Also, sunlight and air temperature is going to determine how fast the water is going to evaporate. So if there are hot sunny days or hot climates, additional watering might be required. And down here we have an evaporation table, or how fast water will evaporate depending on the temperature. Okay, gotcha. So if it's 10 degrees Celsius, we're gonna have 6 milliliters per hour evaporate. 20 degrees, that's 10 milliliters, and 50, it's 1,000. It jumps from 10 to 1,000. I don't know how this works. It just seems kind of a lot. So the first stage was seeding, and the second stage is vegetating. The vegetative phase is the second one, and it defines the stage between germination and flowering. During this phase, plants are busy carrying out photosynthesis and accumulating resources that will be needed for flowering and reproduction. The flower is at 30% of its final size and has visible green leaves. So the growth time is 1 day game time, minimum water 100 milliliters, minimum sun 4 hours, and the temperature, the optimum temperature is between 18 and 30 degrees Celsius. So if all of these requirements are met, the plant will reach the next stage in 1 day game time. And if this is not met, the minimum water, sun, and the optimal temperature, what's going to happen is that the duration of growth is going to be extended by 2.4 hours. When it comes to the water, now if the water amount gets to 0 milliliters per day, the plant will die in the next 24 game time hours. During this period, the plant will change to a more yellowish bent look. My god. To indicate that it's not getting enough water. When the plant dies, it will disappear and there will be just a mound left, which will disappear in the next couple of minutes, hours, I don't know, just stops at next here. Now, when it comes to the temperature, for each 1 degree Celsius below the growing optimum temperature, the speed of growth is reduced by 2 hours. Okay, so pretty much whenever these requirements are not met, the duration of the plant growing goes up and up. And if we leave it like that, if we don't give it water and whatnot, it's gonna die pretty much in a certain amount of time. Also, we have a little bit of a look at the female characters, at the new models for the female characters in the character creator kind of screen. I can't really show it, but I just wanted to take a look at the customization options. Now, one thing that drew my attention here was that the tattoos are grayed out, so it seems like we're not gonna have tattoos. Maybe this will change, but in this little sneak peek here, it looks like tattoos are not a thing. They're off, and the name tattoo is kind of grayed out. If we look at age and tattoo, we can see that we can modify the age, but the tattoo we cannot. Also, the character has a way different hairstyle, but I'm not seeing here hairstyles. Maybe the hairstyle will depend on the head. You know what I mean? Because we can change between head 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or whatever. So maybe the hairstyle will change depending on that. And the last thing that I have for today is the four-wheelers or the ATVs here. They are all upgraded with armor and extra storage and things like that. And there we go. That's about it for right now in the news. Let me know down below what you guys think about all of these things. Do you want to see farming? Are you excited to try it out in the game? Or are you not? But that is about it for right now. I hope you've enjoyed. In case you did, be sure to drop some stuff and things down below. Make sure to subscribe. Thank you so much for taking the time and hanging out. And I will see you in the next one with some more video games.